What's going on, brothers? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. We back at it again with another episode of the Hall of Game podcast. And you guys know that this show is dedicated towards African American men that are in business, education. If you're a career switcher, we just touch all aspects of African American professional life. And so we go from guys who are in tech, some guys who are in the health industry, some guys who have MBAs. We welcome all comers on this particular show. And today, we had a show yesterday that was a little controversial, but to be a little bit more nice today, right? What are some of the ways that Black men can achieve power in the United States in 2020? And today we have Ramil Amir YouTube channel who's going to help us out here on the Hall of Game. What's going on, brother Ramil?
Hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate you having me, and it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right. Thank you, brother, for coming on. Let everybody know, for those who might not know who you are, what your channel focuses on, and some of the things you discuss.
Okay, what's going on? So Ramil Amir, and my channel mainly focuses on empowerment for the Black man. We talk about how Black men can achieve their highest potential through making sure that they're good on every level, mental, spiritually, physically, financially. It just makes sure Black men can do the best that they can do. Now, if you go on my channel now, you might see some skits, but that's not, my channel is really about Black male empowerment. That was just my last couple of uploads. So make sure you guys go subscribe to it. I appreciate y'all for coming through. And yeah, man, let's get it.
All right. We started off talking yesterday, and it was a little controversial, right? We talked a little bit yesterday about the George Floyd situation. Thank you, brother Focus Hard, for the 99-cent super chat. And a lot of people are upset. Like, I know you're in the city of Atlanta. There's a lot of rioting going on also there. We also know about Minneapolis and Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are saying that, for Black men, we're tired of what's going on in America. And a lot of brothers are frustrated because of what's happened to brother George Floyd. And what I could gather from that is pretty much a lack of Black men having access to power, which is why they are frustrated. What do you think about all of this, this rioting and things like that going on right now? What do you think that's a sign of?
The rioting is some of the most retarded, dumbest action anybody can take. It does nothing to change the situation. It doesn't improve it at all. It's just a sign of weakness, actually. And it's actually a sign of people just wanting an excuse to do nigga shit. Nothing's getting accomplished, and that's not how you achieve power. At the end of the day, when this is all over with, those same people are going to have to go back to their jobs, if they're still there. Those same people are going to have to go back to regular life. So, I mean, I just think it's very illogical, and that's why I'm staying in the house. I'm not fucking with these niggas out here in Atlanta. Even though I live close to downtown, I'm not going down there fucking with them niggas.
Right. Shout out to Brother Ali. Let me go to him real quick. Brother Ali, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick if you can, family.
Hassani Ali from the D, your men's motivational coach, blogger, and advocate. Check me out on Coach Ali's Corner. Man, my bad. Actually, my kids helped me back this time. They had my cell phone hostage.
Oh, man. All right. So shout out to Brother Ali. Let me kind of go back to Brother Ramil. In today's show, we know that a lot of Black men, we're still, as a group, at the bottom of the barrel. And although we have a lot of potential in our African American male community, for whatever reason, we find ourselves towards the bottom in a lot of different things. Although, we have some brothers that are definitely making strides and doing some great things. Shout out to Brother Native Negro and Brother Focus Heart. What are some things that Black men can do to kind of get out of that rut that we are in and which keeps us down?
Well, first off, we can start thinking long term and stop thinking about the immediate gratification and start thinking about long-term gratification. Or we can take life seriously. We can stop taking all our money and spending it on hoes and actually reinvest it in ourselves and self-improvement. We can go for ownership, go for management positions if we're working, try to go for ownership and entrepreneurship if we have the grit. Try to become investors if we're not going to be entrepreneurs. Just put ourselves in more positions of having control over our life. For some reason, Black men don't want to do that. For some reason, black men get comfortable when they find a good salary, and that's nothing. That's not that's not power. You supposed, unless you take that salary and leverage it to do something else, you're still eating crumbs. And black men, we get too comfortable too quick. All right, and this is why other races are able to surpass us, because we get so comfortable. We don't understand that the money you get from working is supposed to be used to put yourself in a position to get a piece of the pie, not to buy bigger toys. But black men don't understand that. Then we complain about George Floyd. Well, what's the incentive to not kill your ass? You have no power. You know what I mean? And somebody got to feel the system. Somebody got to feel the prison industrial complex, the police order. Somebody got to fund all of that with their human capital. And black men are the easiest target because there is no leverage, no power among us, no political power, no economic power. We're just individual birds going against flocks. So until we start changing that mindset, this won't be the last time, obviously. And this is why I don't give a fuck about all of this crap, because if black men really cared about this, we would start moving it towards positions of power and long-term thinking. But we don't care, so it's just gonna, it is what it is.
Okay. Let me ask Brother Ali, what are some of the things that our black men that we can do to gain some power in the United States of America?
The first thing I'm going to say is, and shout out to Brother Ramil because he already hit the nail on the head with it, is we got to start by owning our own homes. How in the hell can we have any power and we don't even control the place where we live? Somebody owns the place where we lay our heads every night. So home ownership will be the very first step that we would have to have in order to build a little bit of power in here in the United States. And then secondly, we have to invest in something as a whole. So whether that's land, whether that's a large building that someone rents out, some kind of real estate, something that you can put your hands on that people would have to pay you for, that you can get a check off of every month. We have to be able to control some sort of, real estate or agriculture, something that, a lot of people can invest in. And when people have to step to you in order to get to it or to utilize that service, that's when you would charge them. And I would say, lastly, is that if we're not going to participate in the political system, then we need to have our own unwritten political, rules in the black community. Because if you know, Asians don't vote like that. Asians only vote when they feel they need to get something done. But if not, they handle most of their stuff internally. So if we're not going to participate and throw money at a politician, because it's not just about voting, it's about putting your money towards something, then we need to have our own political protocol in place for if and when something happens.
I can agree. Let me say this. I'm gonna take a little bit of a different aspect, and I definitely agree with both of you brothers are saying. I talked to a lady. And I gotta be a little language, so sorry about this. So I went to Nairobi, Kenya in September 2018. I was hanging out with Dr. Mumi and Wodi Maya, and there was a lady that I met that she was, interestingly enough, an Asian lady that was married to a Ugandan man, and they had a business, like a merchandising business that spanned between Nairobi and Uganda. But she was very successful. They were very successful in Beijing, and then they came back to Uganda, and their Black and Asian daughter actually went to the best international school in Nairobi, which is like $35,000 a year. But one of the things that I noticed from her is that Nairobi has about 70 or between 30 and 50,000 Chinese people. And a lot of her merchandising that is sold caters to this Chinese community in Nairobi. So out of 30 to 40,000, you know, a lot of people like foods from back home, a lot of things back home. And her company suffices not only the African market, but her own people. And then shout out to her because she got a really big deal with Carrefour. And Carrefour is what is like Tesco in Europe or Walmart, United States, right? So the Tesco is also Carrefour is a big French brand. And one of the things that we miss out is a lot of black male money, right? Like that's some of the things that we miss out on. And one of the things that you get power from is you basically create an economy with your own group. And I'll just make a small example of that. Ramil and me have been online in the manosphere, since 2015, where it wasn't really a market. And now there's somewhat of a small market. I mean, like you see guys that, they create content, they live stream, what's the brother Bernard Riley does it now. Ramil does it quite effectively. And one of the things that we can do is we can take advantage of our own market, right? And a lot of things, like even this podcast, it's a selling point to other black men. Other black men are interested in hearing this sort of thing. And we exclude every other group for this particular podcast or for this particular content strategy. And what we do at that point is what we're trying to do is we're trying to target that $600 billion spending power that we have as African-American men. And basically that is a way that we are trying to win at home. I've seen brothers do barbershop contests, or I've seen brothers do pop-up shoe, shoe shops, with collector shoes and things like that, right? I think a lot of times that when we look for power, we look for it politically, but we don't really look to say, damn, you know what? Black men have a huge economy, and that we can leverage ourselves with our own people first. And this online manosphere YouTube community is like $1 million community now, that money flows through here every day from people I never met. And we just leverage it with our own people first. And one of the things that we don't realize as black men is that we have a lot of opportunity with our own people, and we forget that. And a lot of times we can make stuff for our people that our people enjoy, other brothers can enjoy. We're the most underserved market, right? And Ramil, I want to go back to a show you said a few days ago, is that for those of you brothers who have value in certain things, like shout out to brother Doug, he's specializes in, I believe, I don't want to say pools, but fish ponds or something like that. I want to make sure I won't say that. Just in truck driving or in tech, or like brother Ali is a motivational speaker that's dedicated to black men. Those are things that we are absolutely trying to do. Shout out to Keep Tech. If you want to come on, you're definitely welcome. So I urge people, right? One of the things that we can get power before other groups look at us is, are we Quarriers and Ponds? Are we really leveraging our own people? Number one. All right. Are we selling to our own people? Are we creating value for our own people? Are we connecting our own people? Just connecting people is money in that, right? If you can able to introduce a brother like Doug, for example, I'll tell another one, I don't know me along with it. Brother Maurice November I was his client first. I was so great. I was so impressed with his service. I was able to recommend him to brother Sub-Zero, that went to brother Black Heights, brother Hassani is working with him, whatever the ask with. So all of these things, see, you lose money in any economy if you don't develop it. So every year, the hip hop community probably loses billions of dollars because there's a lot of development that's not there. And a lot of black men, we lose an economy on things that are underdeveloped. So if we develop these things first with our own people, now we have an economy. Now we have context. Now we have ways to do things, and we can flow, right? And I leverage, I say that for all black men, let's start looking at trying to service our own brothers. We got to do that. We have to do that because we need to try to do that first. And if we can start to do that, we can start to have power in our own group. So the number one thing I want to leverage is, if you are looking for power, do you have power in your own group? Can you get power in your own group? Can you get networking in your own group first before you ask the white man, before you ask black women? Because that's what black women do. Black women have, Black Girls Rocks. They got the Essence festivals. They got the Ebony festivals, right? We don't have those things. But when you have those things and you start to get those things, you might start off small. You know, it might be 5 or 10 people coming to your events or whatever. But once you get those things started, then that's when everybody else pays attention to it. So again, my suggestion is, are we controlling our own economy with our own black men out? We're not including black women here. Brothers, are we providing enough solutions for each other to leverage that $600 billion that we create every year in the United States? All right, I'll rest on that. Anybody want to join in on that? Or whatever you want to say?
No, that's 100% facts. And you know, unfortunately, we don't think like that. We don't, and then you're actually right. You do need to have power amongst your own before you go out into the world. And the crazy part is, it's not that hard to do. It's just black men don't want to do it. So we act like we cannot create anything amongst each other, and that's our biggest downfall. When we can create some of the best products and services ever, working with other black men. So I mean, that's something we just don't do. We're always trying to click up with everybody else except for each other. We try to click with the black female. White man, we try to click up with everybody else and except for each other, and it's crazy because we're missing out on so much money like that. This black manosphere thing is only one small niche amongst black men that can be, you know, I don't want to say exploited, but that could be utilized that we're just not tapping into. It makes no sense, honestly. It goes against nature.
Right. Before we go to Brother Ali, right, because he said a lot of things about real estate. Before I want to go back to him, I just want to urge our black men out there that listen to the show. Black men can be some of the best customers and supporters. Everybody will support or can support things that they find value in. And that's another thing that I want to urge our brothers, right, when we're dealing with our own people, our own African-American brothers out there. If we have something that we do, you know, whether it could be information that's free, it could be information that you charge for, it could be a product, it could be even a comic book, right? There's not even a comic book for brothers, right? And obviously I've been trying to develop that. Does it have value? And treat black men, and I have a problem with this too, because I get a little annoyed with certain people, but black men are just like any other consumer. If they find value, they'll support, right? And we got to look at our brothers as they are customers just like anybody else. As long as you have a good product, you have a good service, you have an underserved market, we can get the support. But a lot of times we are just blinded by, you know, thinking stupid. And then what happens is we're not able to leverage the things that brothers like. And one thing I will say this before we go to keep Brother Ali. Thank you, Brother TD Burns. On YouTube, right? Now, I know you guys watch the content. It's not like, you know, it's something that you can get for free. But what I can do is I can look at my analytics on YouTube and I can see what kind of content that brothers are more interested in or more entertained by, what they find more value in. And I keep going back to the table to try to recreate what I think brothers find the most value in, right? And I'm trying to do that for the audience that I'm trying to serve. So we have to also look at other black men, not as just, oh, that's still these niggas. No, they are customers. They are brothers that have certain needs. They have certain desires that they need to have and certain content strategies also. So in anything that we're doing, we need to look at our brothers as a market, just like anybody else would look at them. Go ahead, Brother Ali.
You know what? And I didn't even think about it as you were just making that point. You know, I live off of 6 Mile in Detroit. And when I think about what's in my radius of that mile on 6 Mile, is we have all of the mom and pop shop restaurants, so beauty salons and barbershops. And everybody else that has a business that's not us are the essentials. And so if we want all these people out of our communities, we got to provide essential services. What I mean by essential services, mortgage companies, law firms, people who do your auto insurance, people who do your home insurance, the oil change shop. I don't know how it is where in Sacramento or Atlanta, but around here, you know, the white boys and the Arabs run the oil change shops, and the brothers just work it. If y'all want the power that y'all say y'all want, y'all got to start building, and that includes me too. But the essential services are what we're looking for, And again, that type of money those people are making are going outwards. They're taking your money and spending it on their kids, putting their kids through private school. So we have to think about other things we want to open other than, beauty shops and, and restaurants. Because we'll support a restaurant in a minute. We love to eat. But in order to, but in order to get the kind of power that we're talking about, we have to kick these other people out of our neighborhoods. Hell, even if you had a Black-owned liquor store, because we know we support them too.
Oh yeah.
But whatever people are putting their money towards, there needs to be a Black hand that the money is going to in these neighborhoods. You know what's funny, O'Shea? A few years ago, I'm not going to mention his name, but one of them Super Hotep people on YouTube was like, Black men don't even make their own toilet paper. And so I went on a search for about 3 years to see if there's a Black-owned company that makes toilet paper, and I finally found them. They're called the Freedom Paper Company.
Wow.
The Freedom Paper Company is a Black-owned company that does paper towels, toilet paper, trash bags, and I think like work gloves or something like that. But there's, finally we're emerging companies where there's a Black-owned company. I can't think of the name right now. They sell alkaline water en masse. And so we have to provide those essential services where people are going to start putting their money towards. Even if we don't have something as big as a hospital, we can get something as small as a medical center where we can get our needs treated, without the racial bias. Or you can go to a after-school tutoring program for your kids, marriage counseling, psychiatric services. There's so many needs that our communities have, but we don't want to take the extra time to fulfill these needs that could be pretty lucrative for a lot of communities. But until we get off of the, and I'm just speaking for what I see around Detroit, is the barbershops and the barbecue places and the soul food joints, then all the essential stuff is going to go elsewhere, and that's where we're losing out.
Man, that's an excellent point, my brother Ali. Let me go ahead and shout out to everybody in the building. You guys are in the building, man. Thank you for being here. Like the video. Thank you, brother Doug, Andy, Engineering, Shadrach, Nefertiti. I see Anthony. I see brother RQ, TD Burns, Jay Stokes, brother Ashworth out of Canada, Jay Stokes, Tony Davis, TD Burns. Thank you so much for the support, Kenny Conjo. So, guys, like the video. We're gonna go to brother Keep It Teggy. Go ahead, brother Teggy.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? What's up, Ramel? What's up, brother Ali, O'Shea? I appreciate you letting me on, man. What's happening? So, I guess I want to come from a different side or whatever, and that's the tech side. I always talk about tech and everything. So, I think one way Black men can, get some form of power is by getting into this technology. These new technologies that keep coming out and being ran by other groups. And I'm not talking about, learning how to or getting a job and helping somebody else make millions. I'm talking about actually coming up with a tech idea and creating a tech some form of tech startup. And that way you can, build some type of company, and that will that you can hire other Black people in, know what I'm saying? And so I mean that's the side I kind of wanted to talk about, you know what I'm saying? And I apologize, O'Shea, I can't stay on too long. I already promised Teapot that I would do the timekeeping or whatever for whatever debate is happening tonight. But but the getting into these tech fields, you know what I'm saying, and learning from these companies and taking that stuff and actually starting your own business. Like, for instance, I got a guy I'm finna interview that I that I started working with in Afghanistan. And he started his own company. I'm planning on doing an interview on my channel pretty soon. I want to interview him because he actually is doing the exact same thing. He's doing the database side. And that's where I really I got a lot of database experience from him helping me and teaching me, the ropes of it. That's how I kind of got into database administration. But yeah, he's back in the States, and he has his own business. And I shout him out, at a later time, because I don't have any of his links right now. But he actually has contracts with. He's done contracts with the government on his own, and it's his own startup. He's a black guy, never worked for some of these companies, and this is something that I want to do eventually at some point. But he worked for these companies, learned how to do this stuff, learn these skills, got in, learn that database languaging, SQL, and building applications for companies, and now he sells his database tools to big businesses. So I mean, it's a lot of opportunity out here that black men need to take care of. I mean, start getting into, you know what I'm saying? And the tech field, everybody talks about 5G, everybody talks about IoT and all these this new automation that's coming out. But we really need to get on some of this technology, as black men as a whole, so we can get into these fields and actually try to come up with some type of tech business. So that's all I wanted to say. O'Shea, go ahead.
No. Thank you, brother Cornelius Edwards, for the $10 out of Memphis. All right, appreciate you, brother. And if you brothers out here enjoying it, make sure you go ahead and like the video. Brother Builder, learn trades or starve. Thank you, brother Frederick Dulles, 1853. Let's go to brother Ramil. Brother Ramil, go ahead and drop the knowledge on the player.
Yeah, Keep It Techie is right. We need to start getting Keep It Techie and Brother Ali is right. The bottom line is, the message is, start getting into things that are necessary for life. Okay, businesses like that actually contribute to the infrastructure of life. Something that black men don't like to do. Like I said, Keep It Techie is talking about technology. Ali's talking about just essentials in general. We need to start getting to things that people need to survive: automobiles, gas. Technology, engineering, just things. We gotta stop playing around with life, man. And then when we do get into those fields, it's not enough to just get the salary and that's cool. No, now you need to start thinking further. Once you get the salary, how can I either move up to the highest position in the company so I can hire other black men? Or how can I branch out and start my own? So we had to start thinking in a power mindset. It's not enough to get the salary to get the job, and too many of us are just comfortable with the salary and the job. It's really pathetic, and until we get out of that lazy, comfortable mindset, nothing's going to change. Nobody should be able to buy your docility for $80,000 a year. It shouldn't. But go ahead.
No. Keep going. You cook it.
No. I'm just saying nobody. So like I said, that money should be used to leverage bigger things so that we can actually have some power. Because if you're making $80,000 a year, how much are they making off of you?
Right. So
you can't be thinking about yourself. When I always used to work, that's what I used to think about. They're paying me this. How much are they making? You know, and you can't get no power when the person you're getting your money from is already 10 times ahead of you. The only way to catch up to something like that is to have your own business. And I will wait to see the day when black men start thinking more of a conquering mindset, man. It's about conquering. And with these protests and things like that, I can see we're still not about it. We're still, instead of lashing out emotionally, we need to lash out mentally. We need to vent your frustrations through your productivity.
Let me shout out to my
gain leverage. Like all this, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, so go ahead.
No, that's good. I'm just saying that's all. That's what we got to do. We got to start lashing out. Instead of lashing out through protest, lash out through productivity and power acquisition.
Let me shout out to brother Clutch. Props to you, but if you don't fix the black family, change black women dating and mating preferences, and have places outside the U.S. for us to live in peace, those solutions will be best Band-Aid. I agree with that. Brother Kenny, thank you so much for the $20. And Brother Kenny, nothing but an opportunity to support a good brother's content. Salute to you in the panelists, O'Shea. I also want to talk about this, right? Because I've been, this is my 8th time in Uganda. And I know this whole idea of Africa or someplace else is for a lot of brothers not interesting. But I do want to leverage that a lot of black men, at the very least, have an open mind. And I'm not telling you guys to make a decision on anything now, but we are living in a global world. And many brothers, like if brother Ali or brother Kipateki or brother Ramil were to come to Uganda, and they would probably walk around for a week. Show, what's going on, brother Mediocre? You want to come up? They would look at something that I didn't see and have an idea that could work. What's the name of the, you go to the airport, right? What's the name of that franchise that sells like duty free, right? Now I want to talk about Chuck Feeney. Chuck Feeney was a former billionaire, and the only reason why he's not a billionaire because he gave all his money away, supposedly. Okay, but Chuck Feeney, the reason why he was able to get to the amount of money that he was is that he was actually like in the military, and he saw some opportunities in France. And one of the opportunities that he saw in France was the fact that, and these military men and these ships, midshipmen, he was able to sell them stuff, right? A lot of opportunities that a lot of black men might be able to get might not necessarily always be in the United States. So we got to keep an open mind about having relationships with other people. Because here's the situation. If we're dealing like on the continent, when I'm here for a long time, I'm noticing that there's certain infrastructures. I'm talking about that things you can organize on like Microsoft Word or, Excel or stuff like that they just don't have here, right? And a lot of brothers got to start being opportunistic. You got to be a person that's looking for opportunities. One thing about a lot of black successful entrepreneurs is that they're always looking for the next opportunity. It doesn't always have to be, something that's out of the blue or recreating the wheel. It's just, number one, knowing the right people. And that's another thing I want to kind of leverage that. And before I go over to Brother Beatology, how many people do you know that have power, right? Because a lot of times powerful people, and we'll get to the politics and stuff like that, right? But a lot of powerful people hang around talented and bright people. And then you got to be able to look at who you hanging around. Are they motivated? Are they working every day? All that plays a, opportunistic people. That changes a lot of the energy. A lot of black men, we don't hang around a lot of opportunistic people who are out there doing it, out there looking for opportunities. So people who look for opportunities for themselves are eventually going to create them. They might fail, but they're going to create them. I urge black men to look, number one, where you're from in your own community for those opportunities. And then go other places to look for those opportunities and try to leverage your skill sets to whatever that you're doing. Look for them all the time, right? And black men who are looking for opportunities, they're going to get them. Those people who are not looking for them, you're not. Like Ramil was talking about. Your job is only going to pay you what you've been making. All right. But the guy who wants the million or the guy who wants the 10 million, I can tell you what he's doing that you're not doing. That guy is looking for an opportunity. All right. That guy is looking for a place, a position to put himself in a position that you're not in. Right. And he doesn't mind working an extra 3 to 4 hours a day. So if we have a lot of black men that can do that with other brothers with the same mindset, look at where we can go. We just need brothers to be opportunistic, looking for something that they can do. I know there's guys that drive trucks, like Erica Williams, for example. She don't even drive trucks, but she knew somebody in truck and she bought a truck for $40,000. Erica Williams has raised like over $200,000 for venture capitalists from her own YouTube channel with only 30,000 subscribers. But the reason why she's done this because she's opportunistic. You understand that? She has her and Andre Hatchett been all through Detroit, buying homes and doing things. Opportunistic. Opportunistic people get power. All right. That's all I wanted to say with that. Let me go to Brother Beatology, brother. Thank you for coming on to the show, brother.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
All right, let everybody know who you are, man. We did a Hall of Game with me and you before, but not too many people know what Beatology brings to the table, man. Go ahead and holler at them right there.
Hold on, I gotta take off my little pimp robe. You know,
Go ahead on, player. Let them know what's good that West Coast is like, man. You know, we in the building.
Hey, man, there's white people riding right now in LA where I'm supposed to be selling. So, man, y'all pray to white Jesus and black Jesus for us out here in LA, man. There's white people riding, setting police cars up on fire. So y'all stay safe. But my name is Gordon, DJ Stealth McGinnis from Beatology. I've been in the music industry all my life. And, you know, I work with a lot of famous people from Lady Gaga to Michael Jackson to probably anybody you can name in music. But thanks for having me on the show, O'Shea.
Okay, let me talk about. I mean, actually, it's right. You were talking about how black men could get more power. You're in a land of opportunity, in one of the biggest cities, the greatest cities in the world, Los Angeles. The brothers that are successful in LA that do have power in the city of Los Angeles, how do they, from what you're reckoning, you look at the Magic Johnsons and the guys like that and the guys in the music industry, how do these brothers get power? How are they seeking to get it? How do they do it?
Well, number one, you have to be a good person and you have to have something to offer. You know, number one, be the best at whatever you do. I don't care if you DJ, if you're a salesman, or whatever you do, be the best at what you do. When you're the best at what you do, millionaires will seek you out. Right now, I think LA is the third largest economy in the world. We have the most millionaires. And you just got to hit them streets. You got to go out and network. Like some of the biggest people I meet are in some of the weirdest situations. I was out in Silver Lake doing a pop-up. I got to meet a guy that was signed to Rock Nation, a guy named Vic Mensa. End up meeting him, end up DJing his party. Next thing you know, I meet one of the biggest hotel owners in Hollywood. Now I'm DJing again. I haven't DJed in 5-6 years. So one thing could turn into a whole new business opportunity for you guys. So make sure when you guys meet these people, you are professional, you're trustworthy, you have integrity, you have accountability, and do what you say and say what you do. Because opportunities out there, guys. I mean, when I'm selling at Melrose Trading Post, it's 5,000 people. Out those 5,000 people, 1,000 are tourists. The rest are 4,000 people that work in film, television, music, and entertainment. So, I mean, it's no better networking, in my opinion, than LA for entertainment, modeling, makeup, and anything that has to do with entertainment. So, I mean, get out there and hit the streets. And, you know, you guys mentioned O'Shea, hit me up on Facebook or whatever, you know, and I give you guys a free 15-minute consultation. You know, I charge $500 an hour for it. But you guys mentioned O'Shea, and I'll be able to help you guys in whatever you guys need, branding, marketing, promotion, or whatever you want.
All right. Anybody just wanted to jump in on anything like that?
O'Shea, I will segue into the comment that Brother Xanatos Clutch mentioned, and he talked about fixing the black family. Now, I know this is going to be very touchy for a lot of brothers, okay, but we have two options. Okay. I met Dick Gregory when I was a junior in college. He did a Black History kind of deal, and he said something very interesting that really stuck out to me. He said, most places around the world, you have children to solve your own problems, your own community's problems, and that stuck out to me. And I got to meet him afterwards, and you know how Dick Gregory is. When you ask him a question that he thinks is stupid, he kind of go off on you a little bit. And he was like, boy, what? Huh? What the hell you mean you don't know that you have kids to solve your community's problems? It's like, that's wrong with you. That's wrong with you punks now. Don't know how to do nothing. And he was talking about how the Japanese were the laughing stock prior to the World War. And now Japan and China are a powerhouse because they spent 20, 30, 40 years building their boys and building their economy and building their forefronts in the technology fields. And so I say all that to say this is that, brothers, we have two options. Either we're going to get married and have our own children, or we're going to find a way to funnel these boys who are out here to start building these, these businesses that we so-called want. because someone's gonna have to run them after we're gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I will speak from a married man's perspective. You do get treated differently and with a lot more reverence when people see you out with your family, black or white. And so if marriage isn't for you, that's okay. Mm-hmm. But what we need to do is figure out, if you're not going to have a family on your own, or if you don't want to mentor these kids that are out here, then we do need to figure out who's going to keep tabs on them, who's going to craft them and mold them and build them into the businessmen that we need out here in these communities, because the sisters aren't going to do it, unfortunately. And we may laugh and joke and say that this is a simp thing, but at the same time, the brother that could be robbing you on the corner could be the brother that could be your, end up being your security guard or your policeman patrolling your neighborhoods. And so we need to have a real in-depth conversation about how we're going to either build these families or construct these families into a more lucrative funnel. If you don't think, the women in your communities are suitable for marriage material, but something has to be done with these children.
Okay. No, great points. Let me shout out to Brother Antoine Wade, always on the hall, but busy, Mr. $500,000 a year man right there. So good, brother. Salute, Brother O'Shea Ramil, Brother KIT, Brother Ali. Keep pushing the word. Keep pushing us forward. I'll catch up with you all next week when things slow down. Thank you, Brother Antoine. Can't thank you enough for what you guys are doing at Black Heights. And guys, Black Heights serves a need for black people wanting to get into the professionals or corporate world. Like, there's no channel like it that I've seen. Not even Boys Watkins is a channel like Black Heights. So again, it's a necessity channel for African Americans. So thank you, Antoine. Anybody want to weigh, Brother Ramil? Anything want to weigh on anything, brother?
Can I hop in right fast, O'Shea?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say one more thing before I get out of here, man. And it's kind of based on what Ramel, added on to what I said. He was talking about the amount of money that a company is possibly making off of you. Well, while I was, because I've worked while I was in uniform, I've managed contracts, like government contracts, and while I would. And I've also worked on government contracts. And so I just wanted to put it in perspective for people so they can understand how much these companies are making off of you. I've actually seen contracts where they break out the positions, and let's say it's a network administrator, and I'm gonna use generic terms or whatever, because I don't want to put no information out there I'm probably not supposed to, but the government would pay the company for, let's say, that network administrator position. It may be $500,000. You know what I'm saying? And then the person that the contracting company is paying, they're only paying them 150 or 175, depending on the position. So I just wanted to put that in perspective, the amount of money that these companies are actually making off of you, especially when you get into government contracting. That's the way it works. You know what I'm saying? And obviously they have their bills they have to take care of, as far as like insurance and all that stuff that ties into, the back end. But they getting $500,000 for the job that you're doing, where you're only getting paid 45% of that amount. So, hey, I appreciate it, O'Shea. I'm gonna hop off. I just wanted to, make that point be known so people, can kind of put it in perspective what Ramel said, as well as, everybody else was saying. But I appreciate it, O'Shea, and y'all have a good one.
All right, I'd brother keep it techie. Thank you so much, brother. Go ahead, Brother Ramel, if you want to weigh in on anything, brother.
No, he's right, man. The company's probably making 5 times the amount they're paying you, man. So it's best to be the hand and not being the guy getting the crumbs, man. I can't stress that enough. But the thing about that is, to get to that level, you got to take risks. And one thing we don't want to do, us as black men, we don't want to put that money up. We don't want to test the market. We don't want to. This country is a country of risk. Everything here came by people taking the risk. Coming here, even you can say they stole the land, whatever, but that was a risk too. Like, so black men got to get comfortable with taking risk. If any power is going to be gained, you got to get comfortable with putting the capital up If you lose it, oh well, get it back. All right, you can get some money back. You can't get the time. You can get the money back though. I mean, money is you can get that back. So we got to get more comfortable with risk taking as well.
Let me also talk about two things I think that not necessarily related, but I want to kind of take it there. One of the things I know that Andre Harrell, just passed not too long ago, but I want to talk about somebody similar because sometimes you can look at somebody who is like maybe not popping, but then they become popping. So I want to talk about Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. When I was like 12 or 13, P. Diddy was like dancing in the back of Father MC's videos, treat him like you want to be treated. Then, P. Diddy went from dropping out of Howard to, putting in this time, Andre Harrell, then producing Mary J. Blige, producing some of the other people, y'all know about, Craig Mack, Bad Boy, Notorious Big, the Locks, all that. Now look at P. Diddy now, right? Worth like $500-600 million. But one of the things that we got to look at as black men is there are a lot of things that we don't know. And unfortunately, because we don't know it, you might have to intern for free to understand those systems. And that's one of the things that powerful people understand is they will trade their time and delay the pay to understand something. Over the last year, I worked with African Diaspora Network with Kinganda and just calling some plays for their channel. And I gotta say, I learned a lot, right? I learned of some things I didn't know I was already making $100,000 a year on YouTube, but I worked with them for we could almost call it for, I wouldn't say it was for free, right? But the stuff that I was able to produce for them, I learned a certain amount of stuff from them, right? Which made my system and how I attacked my YouTube channel, it's ran better now. And it's not necessarily because but it's just the experience that you get. A lot of black men, we got to look at how things work, right? And we get to the family situation. I want just what Clutch said, but a lot of us, we don't understand how things work. That's why a lot of brothers are not as successful in business. The white guy can sit back and learn the business, and he will intern for a year, or he might intern for 2 years, or he might intern under the right person for 3 years. And then he gets credibility in the business and people know him, and then he can go do his own thing. That's what happened with John Paul DeJoria, right? John Paul DeJoria was working with Redken Hair Care Products and, not making a whole lot of money. And then he got fired. Then he started Paul Mitchell Hair Care Products, right? And then that was $1 billion business. And then he went and started Patron, another $1 billion business. But then again, he always understands how things work, the ins and outs and stuff. A lot of brothers, sometimes when you're trying to do something, you might not get the money up front, right? But you get the knowledge of how things work. You get the knowledge of how the ends of things work, what goes here, the administration things. A lot of people will allow you to do things, powerful people, but you're gonna have to put the time in. And I think all of what everybody is talking about is I'm putting the time in. And Puff Daddy is a guy who he saw the vision. A lot of black men, we don't see that vision. So I want to also say that another thing too, right? We got to also look at what we're seeing. I want to just jump into politics. Now, I don't know whether you guys support Donald Trump or not. Now, I'm gonna just say this. I'm a black person first. I'm a black person first. I mean, me too, right? I'm a black person first. I'm black first, politics second. Whatever it is that you agree on, whether it's the left or the right, one thing that you got to understand as a black man, you got to put your money up on these things. All right. One of our biggest issues as a group of brothers is that we don't put our money up on things that matter. Local politics, government politics. And when you don't put your money up on stuff that matters, then it doesn't matter that you have a $600 billion spending power, right? It doesn't matter. We don't have, we should be able to be so organized like how the Democrats can call donors and they can get donations. We should be able to have a group of African American men where we can call no big companies. If we needed to raise $500 million for a political campaign, we should be able to call or send an email out and have that $500 million. We should be able to be that united, or at least that, you know what I mean? Where we can go within our own group and we can get $500 million to do something. And for the kind of money that we have, that ain't no money. Even right now, right? If I was to ask everybody to give $5 right now, you guys could do it. It wouldn't be no problem, right? But that's another thing that we got to talk about. We got to start looking at, for the things that we say we want to change, we got to be willing to want to pay for those things. If brothers think that child support is a problem, then that's why we got to really address those things. And we have to be willing to say, I'm willing to put $50 towards this, or I'm willing to put $20 towards this, or I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z towards this. A lot of things that we are not getting, it's not that we can't afford to do it. We can afford to do a lot of the stuff that we want to do and we complain about. But the problem is that we're not putting the money up, right? And we got to get out of being tight-fisted and cheap with ourselves. I mean, let me just give me a second with this brother Ramil and Hassani. We're not cheap with our girls. We're not cheap with our mama. We're not cheap with our friends. But let's be honest. When it comes to the things that affect us, we are cheap, and everybody knows that. You know, we not cheap when it comes to the strip club. We not cheap when it comes to the kind of shoes that we want. But when it comes to the things that affect us, we are cheap. Now, the difference between us and black women is black women know how to raise that money. Black women will know how to raise that. That's why black women have more power than us, because they understand, pay attention to more social issues that affect them, and they're going to put the money up. A lot of black men are not willing to do that, and we got to get out of that. We got to be willing to say, all right, I'm willing to put $10 a month towards, the local campaign in my city, or I'm willing to budget $20 a month for this. I'm willing to do that, because we're not willing to spend for things that affect us. And then when you have that mindset, then you don't get nothing. A lot of black men, we got to get out of wanting shit for free. All right, we just do. This is not even about me or any, because you brothers are good to me. I'm pretty sure Ramil can say the same thing, right? It's not even about that. It's that sure. We gotta get out of this mindset. Everybody else is paying the cost to be the boss. Black women paying it, the gay community paying it, the Jews are paying it. Everybody's paying it. The people who not writing the checks are us. And when you don't write checks, you can't call shots. Even some of you brothers, we get into arguments all the time about being a 50-50 nigga. A lot of you niggas want to fight me on that. You want to be able to call shots and be 50-50. You're not going to be able to call shots in America paying 0%, which is what a lot of brothers want to do. A lot of brothers want to have power, but pay 0%. It's something that you're going to have to get through your head that this is not possible, brother. Everybody that is ruling over you right now in America, or if it's somebody right now, the Hispanic community is coming with money. And you out earn Hispanic men, right? So a lot of brothers gonna have to understand politically, before we even talk about voting for Trump or voting for whoever else. I don't even really care. The fact is, whoever you want to vote for, are you willing to put the money up? If you're not, then we don't need to talk about this. But nothing is not going to change until you represent that $600 billion spending power, and that you're willing to cash that check for something that you care about. Because see, if you don't care about police brutality, and if you're not willing to put money up to stop it, then it's going to keep happening. Because you're not going to get nothing for free, brothers. It costs money to play. You got to pay to play. And before I give it back to you, Brother Ali, if you think I'm coming to Africa, you'd be surprised on how far you can get by just paying on time. But wherever you brothers are doing, you got to pay to play. This is not no pay to play. Get that in your mind. Go ahead, brother Ali.
You actually touched on a great point, and I was able to sit at the feet of billionaire Dan Gilbert, the brother or the guy who owns Quicken Loans, and he'll be the first one to tell you. Before he was a mortgage company and real estate mogul, this guy used to deliver pizzas for a living, and what he did in order to get his real estate company up and running is that even though he didn't make much on mortgages, or he didn't know much about mortgages, he hired the people, the best talent that he could surround himself with and let them do the work. But he sat under somebody who knew about real estate and what mortgages were about. And he sat under that person and he listened and he told them, is that there's money to be made in this, and you don't have to be the expert at it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, brothers, if you need a little bit of power, if you need a little bit of a startup, find something where you know 3 talented brothers that know the business in and out. And all they need is a building to provide these services. So let's take mechanics for example. You know 3 good brothers who know how to work on cars. All you would have to do is supply the building for those brothers to work on the cars. And then you work the front desk and the phones until you can get enough capital to hire someone to work the phones. And then you have your own auto mechanic shop. There's several ways to leverage the power, but all it takes is an idea. Even if you have 3 brothers who can write really well, then you can provide a service where you can do resume building, or business proposals, or fact checking, proof editing, ghostwriting for authors. There's so many things that you can build leverage on where you don't have to be a particular expert in the field. Right now, I'll tell you something that I'm working on. Right now, I am working on learning how to purchase mortgage notes. And with purchasing mortgage notes, all you're doing is taking the principal balance that a borrower may owe on a house, and you're taking the responsibility from the previous lender, and now you become the lender. So let's say that they have $8,000 left on their mortgage. They're paying you every month with the interest and everything else that comes with it. And if they don't pay you, guess what? You get a free house. Well, it's not free, but you get a house if they don't make their payments in the event of a foreclosure. And so there's so many avenues where we can start building your power and building your leverage, because again, when someone can't pay you on time, what do? They come to you and say, please, can I get an extra month, or what I need to do in order to keep my house? And that's when you start practicing the small power moves. The reason why a lot of races are able to execute their power on a larger scale is because they know how to manage on a smaller scale. Sometimes some brothers get a little bit of power and they get power drunk off of it. And so find a way that you can gain a leverage and execute or exercise that power in a small, minute arena, master it, and then maneuver into bigger arenas. When people see that you're a businessman, or that you own several properties or own several ventures, and you have that image that you are here to conquer and acquire, people will treat you differently. And that's one thing as brothers we have to understand, is that a lot of people are making their money off of your silly desires. How many times have any brothers seen where brothers have, and it's other people too, but all people do is resell the Jordans, or they sell Jordans on wholesale. People making money hand over fist just because they have to have those new old renditions of Jordans. The brothers who own or the brothers who do the barbershop, but the person they pay rent to, the Arab that owns the building or the white guy who owns the building. Like Brother Ramil was saying, we got to start thinking long term about this stuff. When we start thinking long term, we can finally have our foot in the fight. And with this economy, with the economy changing and with the recession that we're already in, and it's about to get much worse, there's a lot of opportunity in it. And so along with these channels that are entertaining, along with these channels that bring you all the up-to-date news and OSHA has been providing for the past 5 years or so, we also need to divvy up what we listen to during the day. We got to start going to those finance channels that brothers are putting out. Erica Williams is another one. Finding ways where you can find an opportunity to build your leverage, even if your credit's not that great, even if your money's a little low. There's a brother named Hustlers Kung Fu who has a program where it's called 30 Days to $2,500. And it's how
Lenny Cameron. He been on here before.
Right. And so, he has a program to help you build a side business where you can help earn $2,500. And so you have to start taking advantage of this stuff. We can't work and then play all the time. Mm-hmm. If you know something about Jewish men work until the day they die because they understand that there's work to do. And, we completely collapse come the weekend. And so we got to take advantage of, and I'll wrap it up here, is that we have to start taking advantage of all the information that's put right in front of us, especially here on the social media platforms, and build that leverage one piece at a time so you can slowly start becoming a force. And then people know they have to deal with something if they come to us incorrect.
Let me shout out to African Superstar. That's my one and only play sister on the internet. She's currently in the UK, but she's an American. You get her talking about Africa. She talk all day. David Johnson, this is a crisis. Perfect time for us to start building business, brothers, and don't miss the opportunity and think about it. It's something I wanted to just say just very briefly. Go ahead, Ramil. I'll remember it.
Oh no, I didn't have anything to add. He's hitting the nail right on the head. No, he's on point right now. I never had anything else to add to that.
Okay, let me try to take a stab at it. One of the things, and I like to talk about Nigeria. I know I talk about this all the time, but I remember some countries I think it's Venezuela. So Venezuela is a country that is very, very oil rich, right? And they depended on that oil, and they didn't diversify. Now, Nigeria, what they did was they had oil also, but they diversified their economy. Now, don't get me wrong, Nigeria is poorly ran, but I like the attempt. And the attempt is that Nigerian organized its music and entertainment industry, Nollywood, such that, and I believe that African Superstar has been to Nigeria. I know she's been to Ghana, such that anywhere in Africa, and if you've been here, Nigeria runs the show. There's no doubt. The African Americans might be the most popular blacks, but when you get to Africa, Nigeria runs the show. Europe, Nigeria runs the show. It's just, amongst blacks. That's just the truth. And the reason why is because they're organized their content, and they've organized their industries. And one of the things that I like about them is that they start small. And that's something I want to talk to black men about. A lot of black men are intimidated by, the Amazons, or intimidated by the Walmarts, or intimidated by certain things. We're an underserved group, right? The black community is a underserved group. And there's so many opportunities in our own group. It's okay to start small, right? It's okay as black men to start small. There are people that are ahead of us. We got to look at it like this. When you're trying to get power in anything, power is something every leader that's ruling the country started off as somebody's deputy or assistant. There's nobody that grew up and that got power automatically. Like even the Bible talks about Jesus in so many words being an assistant of John the Baptist, right? In Mark 1 and 115, he comes out and preaches the same sermon that John's been preaching, repent, the kingdom of God is upon you. So everybody starts in a minuscule place. And Nigeria, in their billion-dollar industry, started in a very minuscule place with what they had. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very professional. While African Americans and Spike Lee were begging white people, could they get into their shows? Could they get into their movies? And, you know, when Spike Lee could have made that switch to Nigeria, he wasn't trying to do that, right? And then he ended up getting blackballed out of American, movies for some time, right? And because he didn't own the industry, where he could have went to Nigeria and been burgeoning in this whole new thing and been a part of a whole new economy. But they started where they were at. He didn't ask anybody, could you put me on nothing? They started, right? Their people believed in the system. They believed in the talent. And now Nollywood now look at Netflix. Netflix is, everybody's interested in Nollywood. Now look at Def Jam, for example, right? They're starting Def Jam Africa now, right? And they would never have started Def Jam Africa because we know about white folks. White people don't get interested in you until you do shit for yourself. Then they get interested. White people never come into the black community or hip hop or anything and establish the economy. What they do is they wait for you to do it. Then they try to buy you out. So when white people go to Africa and start trying to start Def Jam Africa, they're only doing that because those people already got it popping. But see, you can get shit popping also, right? It's no different than anything else that blacks have done. You know, black owned businesses, black owned comedy, black owned. You see, all of this stuff we always have started small as African Americans in the country. We've always started small. We've always done our own thing. Hip hop was something that we started that was small. And nobody believed in it, right? But the problem is we didn't control that as an industry as it got bigger. That was our fault. But now we have learned from the people who have done some of the same things, and we need to really look at ways to recreate industries because nobody creates industries like us. Blacks, when we create an industry, it's unique. And when we do it, nobody does it like us. So we got to start looking to, all right, I'm going to start where I'm at. I'm okay with where I'm at right now. And then we're going to continue. So what if it don't get big in the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years, right? We got to keep going. Because even Amazon was started in a garage. YouTube was started in a garage. Everybody starts at this position, you know? So we need to be more forward thinking as black men. We have the guys to do it. We just got to be there, right? And let me also say this real quick. As you're looking to, expand, you're going to have some people who are not going to get it. And I'm going to tell you like this. My own people, when I was coming to Uganda and doing what I'm doing now, and I'm doing the best I've ever done right now since I've been here. It's my 8th time coming. The best I've ever done on any of these platforms is right now. You know, if you want to talk about views or if it's money or it's the best I've ever done is right now, today. People try to talk me out of what I was trying to do, or trying to set up something here eventually. Now, why do you want to do that? You're going to get killed out there or whatever. Try not to listen to people who don't know what they're talking about, right? When you're trying to gain an advantage in life, you take the opportunity as is there. Opportunities close up pretty fast. Grab them. And again, start small. Every time I was coming to Africa here, I came here, I left something. I would leave some lenses. I would leave a green screen. I would leave my gimbal. I would leave lighting equipment. Every time I come, I leave something, right? But I'm building on my premise every time I come. And when I come back, I bring something new, or I send money back, or I do something, right? I've been building this whole thing for 2 years. Now it's paying off, right? So, and that's another way to get power. You continue with the plan. You continue. You guys have anything you want to add on that?
No, you're right, man. It's consistency and being and persevering, and that's always gonna win at the end of the day. You just got to be consistent and stop. Don't stop quitting after not seeing results after 3 months. You know what I mean? Stop quitting. I mean, at least give it time. I
She
always
said
say,
3 months.
yeah, I always say at least give it 3 years. Like people, like black men, we start some, we get all excited, and then after the first couple of months, it just dies down because we don't understand. It takes a long time to build sustainable situations,
Right.
and until we understand that as well, that the time factor is involved, nothing's going to change it as well either.
Brother Ali, you want to weigh in on that, brother?
One thing that's kind of sticking out to me, and I'll keep this really really brief, is that a lot of times when we have brothers who are well-to-do and they have shown consistency, and we talked about this on the last Hall of Game, is supporting the brothers who are out here, the brothers who are doing the work and who provide an essential service that brothers and sisters can use, and make sure we get behind them. If we, and I don't know how anyone feels about Byron Allen, but if we would have put, some kind of pushback and gave support to Byron Allen, that case with Comcast could have gone a different way, with him being a billionaire. And I know people don't particularly take a liking to him because they have a white wife, whatever. But even with the Robert Johnson piece, is that that brother has given, millions or billions of dollars to brothers at Morehouse that, those brothers now are walking out of college debt free, and we didn't get behind them. You know what I mean? We got to start also supporting those brothers who are running the charge, getting behind the brother Ramils and saying, hey, I may not have the financial contribution, but what can I do to help you grow your wings? You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't always have to. Every time we get into a space, we always want to be the head honcho. If someone already got the reins on it, just say, how can I help you out? Even if it's just, with marketing or sharing or just paying, that person being a lifelong customer, whatever it takes to keep these brothers consistent and helping them persist so they can build up enough capital and enough power and enough leverage to come back and help the rest of the brothers. Sometimes when we make it and we get successful out here, we're setting ducks because we're successful and we're by ourselves. So if someone targets us, it's easy to take us down. And so I'm just going on the support piece of just saying that for the brothers who are already doing it, make sure you're supporting them. Power doesn't come always by itself. People always make political moves in groups. And so when you find somebody that is like-minded like you, get behind them. If you can't give your monetary, if you can't provide a monetary currency, find some way to help otherwise. And I'll leave it at that.
All right, let me awesome information. Tony, we're trying to make it happen. Let me just also say this. What can also kill black men is like a lot of little things, right? And one of the things is that we have a lot of individual talent, but when it comes to the whole group, sometimes it gets lost in translation. And one of the problems that we got to really look at is that we do have some ego, and sometimes before we can go forward, we got to kind of step back. In our space, we happen to have a lot of talented African American men, and like Brother Ramil, he's a very talented guy, but I'm not threatened by Ramil because Ramil is talented or Ramil can draw a crowd. I actually want to see somebody like that be more successful because the more success he may get is better for me, right? We are not in competition. We are brothers, right? There are things that I might be doing that he's not doing. And I want a lot of black men to also understand is that there's a lot of opportunity for everybody here. even just on something that's a small thing like a YouTube platform. I can't get all the money in blackmail YouTube. I can't stream all the time, or I just can't, right? There is so much opportunity for other brothers that don't have to be hating on Coach Ali or our brother Ramil. A lot of us, we say that we don't like haters, but then we end up hating on other people for no reason. And I need to leverage that, because one of the things that we can do as black men is we can pull each other up. And that's one thing that we can do. I will use Brother Maurice November as a perfect example. I started really recommending the brother a lot. Other people started recommending him a lot. Now we have a guy that's here that, he's getting a supplemental income from brothers based here. Same thing with Brother Andre Hatcher, Brother Ramil, AM1 got with Sister Erica and met her and did a lot of great things in Detroit, right? We got to get to that situation that we got.
Are you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. And we got to understand that as we help people, we can go further. Not like, oh, he's my competition, let me keep him away. No. Help people that should be helped and bring them in. And the more that you do that, I've been on this platform for 5 years. I've worked with so many YouTubers. Never once has helping me or not helping people not help me. It's helped me tremendously. We got to start bringing our black men into situations, into things that make money, into situations that creates networks. That's another thing that we can do. We could leverage our talented brothers to come into the fold, right? And the more black men that we can do that, brothers do pay it back. All right. When you help other black men, it's you actually get residuals off of that in many different ways. So let's bring our brothers into situations that help them, because as we do that, we are also helping ourselves. White people pull their people into things. The Indians, we talk about them a lot, right? What do the Indians do? The Indians come to the black community, they set up a gas station. And when the gas station start making money, they will send for a visa to bring the other brother in from India, right? That brother comes in, he gets married, he gets a gas station that he sends for somebody else to come. He sends for his wife to come. That's what the Hispanics do, what the Asians do, the Hungarians do. Everybody reaches back to bring their people into a positive situation. Now, we do that sometimes, but we don't do it enough. So we got to keep bringing our people in. We got to keep bringing our people in situations that make more money, in situations that, because there's so much opportunity, you can't get it all. It just is. Anybody want to add to that, or?
Nah, man, you hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah.
All right. And let me just do this real quick before we get Coach Ali. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Coach Ali and Brother Ramil's YouTube channel. Press 1 if you need the links. Ramil Lamir and Coach Ali. Coach Ali has, I believe, almost 300 subscribers. So we want to help him get some subscribers today also, and Brother Ramil. Last words from you, brothers, man. Anybody want to have any last words?
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, every other man on the planet, his goal is to conquer and achieve some sort of power. For some reason, black men are not practicing the same nature, and that's going to have to change. And if that doesn't change, the George Floyd situation, unfortunately, it's not going to stop. It's been happening. It's been happening. I mean, it's the same place. So if you guys want to prevent things like that, and more importantly, prevent black on black crime, which happens 8 times higher than other proximity groups, we're gonna have to think the route of power. It's no other way around it. When you guys are ready to do that, come hit up my channel. Appreciate you, O'Shea. And yeah, that's what it is.
All right. Thank you, Brother Ramil. And man, those skits, man. Y'all gotta go check those skits out, man. The work where he had the phone and he had the nigga in there talking. That was clever, man. I ain't gonna lie. That was.
I was fucking around, man.
Oh, that was a good one. Go ahead, brother. You inspired me to try one of those, man. Go ahead, brother.
I know
Ali.
you're a killer, man. Shit.
I'm gonna try one, man, this week. Go ahead, brother Ali. Go ahead, let them know what's up, man.
I'm gonna just end it with this, O'Shea. I would rather have rich man problems than poor man problems.
Hello.
And every day, I'm working to get those rich man problems. That's it.
Yep.
I know that's right. So listen, let me do this. Shout out to the brother that just subscribed to Coach Ali's Corner. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow. I know yesterday's show was a little brutal, right? And so I know that that was a little bit too much truth that was going on. So I wanted to make it a little bit more upbeat today. We didn't cover everything that you can do, right? Because another thing I want to talk about is, study powerful people, read books, how do people gain it, right? There's different ways people do it. But, there's so much opportunity right now within Black men. And the thing about it is that groups people recognize people's power by how the group can move. And the thing about with Black men, right? You don't need all 20 million to move on something. If you could get 50,000 to move on something, or 100,000 to move on something, if you guys believe in the Bible, then you think that, Gideon had 300 soldiers, right? That moved on something. And small things like this can take off more. So the situation that we're looking for is we're looking for more brothers to come to the platform. We're looking for more brothers to, do the meetups. We're looking for more brothers to be, we want to be a little bit more educated what goes on politically. We want to give a platform to brothers that have more diverse backgrounds. Like Brother Beatology was on here. He's a person that sells. He's a vendor in the LA area. We want to be able to expand what we already have, right? And that's the beginning of a humble beginning of things like this. And so we want to continue to bring Black men together. That's the number one goal. That's the whole aim. We want to bring talented Black men together because, in this space, the brothers that have the skills and the knowledge, we want to put them into the forefront. So, we want to thank you, brothers, for listening to the show. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna have a very, very good cast, and we need Black men to really, not to just listen to this content, right? Because this is a lifestyle. In your own cities, your own local everyday. Speak to brothers, try to talk to people. All of that, right? We want to see our Black men do a lot better, and it starts with us as a group working together. We got to leave all right Black women out of it and white people out of it. Every day, can we say that as a Black man, I'm doing the best I can every day to work with other brothers, right? That's the whole, and nobody can change that. But see, we have the opportunity to change that. There's going to be a lot of excuses. Oh, man, I can't really work with niggas. Niggas on bullshit. See, we know that. But at the same time, are we making that work? We got to really start serving our own group. It's important. Everybody serves their own group except for us. Start serving the group. And that's the number one way that we can start to gain something. We got to stop being individuals, right? We got to start looking at the group. Any last words you brothers got?
I gave mine already, man. Once again, I appreciate you once again for having me on, and dope show, and powers to go. All
right, guys. So tomorrow, Brother Ali.
As you know, as Dr. D and Brother Gabe would say if they was on there, brothers, don't forget to practice your sexual discipline. That's it.
All right. So tomorrow we're gonna have maybe a double header, guys. Thank you so much. I don't know, but one of the brothers asked the topic, so I don't think I'm gonna have the topic for tomorrow. I think that somebody will give me one. I'm out of topics. I'm telling you, I'm out of them right now. So, but what we'll probably do one group in the morning, one group at night, but probably we'll do a little bit more of an intricate, detailed show on something that's a little bit more specific. But guys, thank you so much. See you, brother. Thank you, brother, again, Ali and Ramil, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.